I'll tell you something, right? If these people weren't ripping people off and making people's lives a misery, this would be fucking laughable. Oh, by the way, I'll tell you what is laughable, Highways Agency. You have the collective brain of a monkey on steroids let loose in a fucking banana factory. You muppets. Your nighttime closures are a fucking joke. Do you not understand that as professional drivers we have strict time limits to adhere to, and we can't just wander 30 miles off course just because you fucking feel like it? Fucking idiots. This goes back to Hoist Portfolio Holdings. Now, there is a video on the channel called, as luck would have it, there is a video on the channel called Phone Call to Hoist Portfolio Holdings. And if I'm not mistaken, it was actually done on the same day as Phone Call to Marston Bailiffs. What's his name again? Chris Green. In which Chris Green threatened to arrest me under the Domestic Violence Act for non-payment of council tax. Your guess is as good as mine. They put a CCJ in my account. Now, this, as far as I'm aware, is for. I might be wrong. I think it was an unpaid bank overdraft. So they've put a CCJ on there. Well, about 3 years later, they've realised they haven't had any cash yet. And if you listen to I haven't listened to it back, but if you listen to the call, as far as I can recall, the bailiff almost kind of hung up on me because I said there wasn't any court case, mate. No, we don't do court cases in the UK. There's no fucking democracy in the UK. Well, as we found out since, I'm not allowed to contact the court or submit any evidence to the court, or the CPS aren't allowed to speak to me as well. So this is in the business and property courts, which they've somehow gleaned from bank overdraft. I don't know. You probably won't be able to see this because this laptop does everything backwards as well. But if you pause it, you can probably read it back. So they've actually got a High Court stamp on that. A fucking High Court stamp. Despite, by their own admission, before the Honourable Mr. Justice Hildyard, sitting as a judge of the County Court in all districts of England and Wales. Now, I did take the time to read this over because I thought, oh, fuck me. It's because I got a letter here from Howard Cohen and Co. solicitors, who probably aren't solicitors at all. But they live in the sign. We've seen this letter before, or something similar. That's how they sign a letter. They really are a fucking. It's a fucking clown circus. So I've reported Mr. Justice Hildyard to the magistrates people in Kent. Maidstone, I think. But I thought that wouldn't do, because Maidstone, I know there are viewers on here from Maidstone, and we all know that Maidstone is Freemason Incorporated. I thought they're bent. So I've sent it to someone else as well. I won't say who at the minute. That'll be for another video. But yeah, so I did read this over, and I just thought, well, it does look quite formal and stuff like that. And then I noticed the date on it, which was 30th of July 2019. But apparently their client instructed Blake Morgan solicitors. I don't know who their client is. Oh, that would be Hoist Portfolio Holdings, presumably. I don't know where the bank comes into it anymore. Seems to be Hoist Portfolio Holdings, Howard Cohen, and now Blake Morgan solicitors. Look these up if you want to, guys. I've got no fucking interest whatsoever, because I can almost guarantee that 9 out of 10 of them will come out as fake fucking firms. But if you want to educate yourselves, look some of these names up. Blake Morgan solicitors, Howard Cohn and Co. solicitors, and of course there's Hoist Portfolio Holdings. See, HPH is, so for some reason they've transferred this to, there's now HFUKH2L. Don't know if they are. Please find and close the court order confirming this position. This is a court order from the business court, the business list, with the Honourable Mr. Justice Hildyard, who we don't know if is a magistrate or a judge. I'm surprised I got a reply from Mason, actually. I don't think I get one. But they just said we're not in charge of magistrates, judges rather. For this, you must write to the Judiciary Commission. Well, I have, sort of. That's who I'm not saying. I doubt they watch this channel, so I want to find out if I get a reply first. So that's just a load of blurb, which I can't read now. That's a court order. That's very good, that, isn't it? Between Hoist Finance UK Holdings, claimant, and multiple defendants. Well, I know I've got split personalities, but I think that's a bit fucking... I might sue, actually, for slander. That's it. Pause it, because I know it's backwards. I think it'll come out backwards. Just have a fucking chuckle at that, guys. I'll see you all later.